Welcome to McDonald's. May I take your order?
Hi, can I get a...
From drive-thrus to the McRib, here are 10 shady secrets McDonald's doesn't want you to know. Holiday overtime.
10 a.m. Santa's coming to town.
For most people, holidays are about spending time with loved ones and doing something special. Most people don't think of going to McDonald's for a special holiday meal. However, while your local McD's is likely open no matter the holiday, McDonald's doesn't like to pay their employees for overtime hours on these holidays.
You're cheap!
This shouldn't be a huge shock to most people. McD's has a reputation of not wanting to spend money on their employees, despite the fact that they make a lot of it. McDonald's is known for being cheap and not paying their employees well, and while they used to be closed during major holidays, they stopped doing that years ago and started opening their restaurants during holidays as well, forcing their employees to work. While the McDonald's franchise owners can choose to pay their employees for overtime during holidays, the corporate-owned stores do not choose to do the same. They say that employees that work those days are volunteering, and therefore they do not need to pay them more than their regular wages to be there, which sounds like a really bad excuse to simply not pay your employees extra for taking time out of their lives to spend the holidays working. Though many people are outraged by this fact, it does not stop them from going to McDonald's on the holidays to get their fix of fries. This is not really something that the company makes public. They tend to try and keep it on the down low to keep people happy and the money flowing, even on the holidays. Salads.
Ron, would you like some salad?
Since I am not a rabbit, no, I do not.
One thing that McDonald's definitely does not want people to know about is the fact that their salads are not actually healthy for you, counter to what they want you to think. They try to keep this as secret as possible, while also having to offer the calorie and nutrient information publicly.
Fingers crossed.
They hope that most people won't actually look at the calorie count on their salads and rely on customers to just assume the salads are as healthy as any regular salad. While salads from a fast food restaurant may seem like a great deal, being able to eat healthy and cheap, it's simply not that straightforward. In fact, a lot of McDonald's salads are higher in calories, fat, and sodium than a good number of their hamburgers. Most people would expect that ordering a salad, no matter where it's from, would mean choosing the healthier option, since you would be consuming a lot of fresh vegetables. Even eating a plain, dry McD's salad with no dressing still has an extreme amount of calories compared to what a salad should have. So next time you go to McDonald's with the intent on eating a little healthier and want to get yourself a salad, you may as well just go for the hamburger and indulge a little. You'll likely be cutting a few calories. Self-serve kiosks.
Order for yourself.
While McDonald's may claim that they added self-serve kiosks as a convenience for their customers, that's not the actual reason that they were placed in restaurants. In fact, the real reason McDonald's has added self-serve kiosks is because they do not want to pay their employees. Or rather, they don't want to pay as many employees.
I see what you did there. Good one.
You see, it's cheaper and easier for them to install the self-serve kiosks than it is to pay employees to be there taking orders during the day. The kiosks can make things quicker and make it so they do not need as many employees working the front counter, as customers can go in and choose their own order from the kiosk. They encourage people to use the kiosks as much as possible with advertising and special deals because it means that they can cut shifts from their employees as more and more people order using these kiosks. While customers may not think about the fact that these handy kiosks are taking hours away from an actual employee, this is the result of these self-serve kiosks. So next time that you visit your local McDonald's, you should go up to the counter and make a point of ordering from the employee who's working rather than using the kiosk, even if it seems like it could be quicker sometimes. Ice machines.
Hey, buddy. Small Coke, no ice. Small Coke, no ice.
One of the things that McDonald's does not want you to know is that they do not have their employees clean the ice machines often, or in some cases, they do not clean it at all. There's probably some deeply buried company policy that states that they have to be cleaned more often, but it's not often enforced. Those ice machines will often go months without being cleaned, leaving who knows what in your drink along with your ice. There may be one or two McDonald's restaurants out there that clean their ice machines regularly, but the large majority of them just do not have time to do it during their busy days, or their employees are just too underpaid to care enough to do it when it should be done. time. Several employees have posted online about this exact issue, stating that they have found specks of dirt or dust and other unknowns in their ice machines. And that sort of thing ends up in your drink. You may want to ask for your drink with no ice the next time that you go to McDonald's, unless you prefer to just pretend that none of this is true so you can just enjoy your ice-cold drink. If you do really need the ice in the drink to enjoy it, hopefully your chosen McDonald's is one of the good ones that actually pays attention and cleans out the ice machine often. Speakers.
I'd like rulers, a ox, and a Makita cup.
The speakers at the drive-thru catch everything you say clearly, from the moment you drive up next to it to the moment you pull away. So whatever you're discussing in your car with your passengers can be heard, and if you're the type to be singing loudly and off-key, they can hear that too.
Bet you didn't know.
The speaker may not be the best quality when they speak to you, but they can hear you more clearly than you can hear them, especially because they're used to having to listen closely to the headset to catch everyone's orders correctly, so there are no issues when it comes to giving people their food. Also, something to be noted, employees have mentioned online that if they hear you being rude at all on the speaker when you think that they can't hear you, they will go out of their way to inconvenience you a little bit with your food without you knowing. The biggest and easiest thing for them to do is if someone is rude and they hear it on the speaker and that person orders coffee, they'll serve them a decaf coffee instead of a regular. So next time you pull up to the speaker at McDonald's, you may want to keep in mind that if your windows are down, they will be able to hear your conversation and may get slightly petty revenge on you if you're talking trash about them. Food timers.
Best before this date. After this date, not the best, but still pretty good.
McDonald's uses food timers to keep track of when food should be either tossed or remade. But oftentimes, employees, including management, will simply just reset the timers because they're either too busy or just don't feel like dealing with it. This means that food will often have the timers reset several times before anyone actually gets rid of the food in question. The result is food that continues to be served to customers even after the timers have been reset several times.
Reset that clock!
You may be expecting something that's at least relatively fresh, but instead you'll be getting stale food that is well past its best before time, which may have been sitting under heat lights or in heat trays for a good majority of the day. Some may question why they even have food timers if they're just going to ignore them. The food timers are used for a reason, to make sure customers get freshly made products as well as it being a food safety issue. So employees that do this are doing something that they are clearly not supposed to. Next time you go to McDonald's, just keep in mind that the food may have been sitting there longer than it should have been, unless you go when the restaurant is really busy, at which point they're probably making more fresh food since it's selling faster. The McRib.
I'd like to go home.
And I'd like the McRib to be available year-round!
The McRib is a popular limited-time item with a cult following that absolutely loves it when the sandwich comes back to the menu, no matter how limited its time is on the menu. But what they don't tell you is that the meat for the McRib is often left for hours and hours in buckets of sauce under heating lamps. This meaty and saucy soup combination seems less than appetizing when you think of it that way.
2 thumbs down.
Knowing that the McRib can be far less fresh than you expect it to be. While most people don't have super high expectations when it comes to getting food from McDonald's, there is at least a minimum expectation that you're getting something that was made within at least the last 2 hours. Unfortunately, with the McRib especially, you're likely getting something that has been sitting for much longer than that. Drive-thru priority.
That's it.
And then?
No and then.
McDonald's employees are timed on how long it takes them to deal with a drive-thru order from the moment the car pulls up to when the order is handed out the window, and management takes these times pretty seriously for the most part. What they do not tell you is that employees tend to focus on the drive-thru and leave customers at the counter waiting for much longer than they should.
What is taking so long? I
I've wasted all day!
There's no timer that counts how long they take to serve customers at the front counter, so they'll often leave them waiting for a lot longer than the people at the drive-thru if there's a bit of a line forming there. While this may be something that can be extremely frustrating for those customers who do not drive or choose to go inside the restaurant, it's not actually the employee's fault. When things get busy, they have a lot of pressure put upon them, especially with that timer ticking at the drive-thru window. So next time you're at the counter and they're taking a bit of time, make sure you have a little bit of patience with them, as they're not ignoring you because they choose to. McD's onions.
Onion.
McDonald's serves chopped up onions on some of their hamburgers, and you would assume that these onions are simply chopped up and stored in a fridge or something along those lines. What a lot of customers do not know is the onions are freeze-dried and they need to be soaked in water for a day before they can be added to any hamburgers. Onions do not seem like something that would be hard to simply chop up and ship out in bags, but apparently they prefer to freeze-dry them. This puts a whole new perspective on the onions you find on your McD's hamburger, knowing that they had to be rehydrated in store. While you can't really tell from the taste, it does feel weird to think about this fact, and it does make people wonder why they could not simply just cut fresh onions, either in a warehouse and ship them out, or have machines chop them up in the restaurants for use.
You tell me.
Surely it would not cost any more, but it would provide fresher onions for their customers' favorite burgers. McD's food does not rot.
Nothing beats 2 cheeseburgers with secret sauce.
McDonald's food is not known for being healthy. In fact, practically all of it is full of sodium, sugar, and a bunch of preservatives. There are a lot of people that have tested the theory that McDonald's food does not actually rot. While not every food item is impervious to rotting, there are a lot of them that are. People have left certain McDonald's foods out for extended periods of time to see if it would rot, and while it does harden and kind of get discolored, it does not actually go through the process of rotting. This is pretty disturbing to think about when you consider the fact that you're putting something that does not really rot into your body. The amount of chemicals and preservatives in the food cannot possibly be good for your body.
Obviously.
Some people have explained this by saying it's because the hamburgers contain very little water, so they dry out before they can rot. But other foods that are dry will rot if left out for just as long, so that can't be the sole reason behind the fact that McDonald's food does not rot when left out for long periods of time. The mystery lives on.
The unsolved mysteries of unsolved mysteries.
We're open 24/7. Just tap or click for another great video. Hit that subscribe button and ring that notification bell. And hey, leave us a comment.